What is up, guys? A few days ago we talked about a new way of dealing with tanks, but I said that I needed to test it out some more. Well, I did test it out, and I've tested using Smite on AD carries building Bloodrazor, the new Devourer replacement. It is absolutely insane, and it melts every kind of tank. You guys know I play a lot of Vayne, and I instantly thought of this. With my build now, every 6 auto attacks you do 24% max health in true damage, plus 27% max health in physical damage, so together that is 51% of their health gone. So let's go into how that works. Now, if you want me to do a few gameplay videos of this stuff showing you how it works, then like this video and let me know in the comments. Dislike it if you don't, but let's jump in. Last video a few days ago, I put that on the screen by the way, we talked about the Rage Blade triggering on hit twice and kind of Blade the Ruin King for dealing with tanks. And that's still going to definitely be a thing, but this might be just another level. So the difference is Bloodrazor is max health, Blade of the Ruin King is current health. With a Blade, as tanks get lower, you actually do less damage, but with a Bloodrazor, you're going to be doing the same the entire time, even when they get low. So if you're not sure what the new Bloodrazor is, it is replacing Devourer in the jungle. It costs 2,625 gold. It's significantly less than a normal AD carry item as well. 40% attack speed, more than Shiv or a rapid fire, about the same as a Runan's, and it does 3% max health on hit. It actually builds from a recurve bow as well, so we can pick that up in lane. It's not too bad of a build path for us, but it's not great either. So the obvious comparison is to Blade of the Ruin King, right? They are aimed at the same thing, kind of do the same job, but I think Bloodrazor is better at doing it. So Blade is 40% attack speed, 25 AD, 10% lifesteal, and 6% current health damage for 3,400 gold. Bloodrazor is 40% attack speed, 3% maximum health damage for 2,625 gold. So Blade of the Ruin King gives a bit more utility, but for pure damage, Bloodrazor is insane. Basically, we're going to smite the tank in a team fight and absolutely demolish him. It's not the best at carry killing like the enemy AD or mid laner from early to mid game, but we kill their tank faster than they are going to kill Az by a mile. This is going to give us a numbers advantage in a fight. We can move forward earlier, and our team can pile onto their carries and go through their now dead tanks. Now, the smite itself is another reason. Yes, we do lose our heal for this, which sucks in lane, but we do get the challenging smite, the red one. It's going to reduce incoming damage by 20% when you use it on the target, and it does deal true damage to them as well. So in like a 1v1 situation, this is amazing. Heal is definitely better for lane, no doubt about it. Smite is actually going to be better for team fights really though, when you're fighting a higher health target. You get the damage reduction, you get more damage, and heal doesn't really help you much against a tank. It's kind of more for the movement speed than anything else really, but this smite actually does. So because this is just way more damage, it also opens up us to building more defense earlier. Kind of makes up for the heal, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, on its own, just having one of those two items, I think actually the pros and cons of having either are similar, but just like Blade, the damage is on hit. This is where the fun begins. Instead of building crit to demolish a tank, we can move onto an on hit build with heavy attack speed. This is where the new Rage Blade comes in as well. I'm going to go over this very quickly, but if you haven't seen my other tank video, Rage Blade is changed in 6.9. Price is up to 3,600, more base AD and AP, new passive 15 damage on hit. It now stacks up to 6 times instead of 8. The old passive is gone, but the new passive, every other basic attack triggers on hit effects twice. So this is even more disgusting than Blade with the new Rage Blade. We get a good chunk of attack speed, good amount of AD, and every 2 attacks we deal 9% max health damage. Now it isn't quite like this because of armor and stuff, but against a 3,000 health tank, every 2 autos it'd be around 270 bonus damage on top of our normal auto attack. So that isn't factoring in your AD or your auto attack or anything, which is going to be a huge chunk of your damage, but just from Bloodrazor you'd be doing around 810 damage every 6 auto attacks. With how much attack speed we're stacking, it really won't take you long to do that in a team fight, and you can see that is absolutely insane. Then you're going to have to factor in the true damage from the smite, plus the damage reduction, plus any other on hit stuff you built as well. Also, if you build Runans, you get more attack speed, so more auto attacks, more percent damage. That's nice anyway, right? Now, because Bloodrazor is on hit though, it's going to apply on the extra 2 bolts as well. So anyone fancy doing massive AoE percentage health damage? Because I sure do. So yeah, that's an insane amount of damage with all of that stuff rolled together, right? The good stuff is you will rip through tanks like butter. They are not going to stand a chance at all. It's very heavy attack speed, which is good for certain champions, and the objective control will be insane. Even better in 6.9 because Dragon dragons are gonna mean way more. Now the bad stuff, not great in lane at all. You lose your heal, you don't have as much damage for trading either, you don't have like any AD or anything to make your abilities hurt more. It's also not ideal for killing the low health targets early to mid game. Late game is going to be fine, everybody has more health, but early not so much. So from that, we really need some kind of synergy with the kit to make it worthwhile. It's not going to be good for taking it on these like lane bully champions, but here are the ADs I think this will be broken with. First one, Vayne. Said this already, but you can build pure attack speed anyway, so there isn't really much difference actually taking this instead. You're a 1v1 dual champion, that is what you're really good at, and challenging Smite just makes that even better. With your W, it's 12% max health damage every 3 autos at max rank. Over 6 auto attacks, it's going to be 24% from your W, plus 27% with Bloodrazor and Rage Blade, and that is disgusting. It does obviously have to stack, but in a team fight, it will be stacked really quickly because of how much attack speed you have, and then you are just going to rip through everyone. We said already kind of, but late game, you're going to destroy every single target. It doesn't matter whether they're high health or low health, just because of how much damage you have. Now, Kog'maw is the other one. Someone pointed this out in my last video, actually. Your W is going to apply on hit, so that means a 3% max health hit per hit. Challenging Smite makes you harder to kill. You do true damage to whoever you're going to be attacking, and you build a lot of defense anyway, so you don't need your heal as much in a team fight. You have a lot of things to keep you safe. You attack like a million miles an hour. Each applies that damage is going to be ridiculous. Now with the Rage Blade, I'm actually going to have to test this, but it should apply, so we actually do even more. But from my initial kind of test when I was playing him, it might be kind of some like internal cooldown, because it didn't seem to do as much as I thought it would. It still is absolutely insane, even if Rage Blade actually doesn't synergize with it, which I'm pretty sure it will, but even if it doesn't, that's still 3% max health damage per hit when you're attacking that quickly. Now Tristana and Ashe are another two, same reasons, so I'm going to put them together for this one. So both of these have attack speed steroids on their Q. Tristana is just the firing quicker, and Ashe is like the ranger's focus thing, so it stacks the Rage Blade faster, and it also applies the percentage damage more. They both have pretty long range, so it's easier just to stand there and auto attack. They're kind of safe in team fights. Ashe can kite, Tristana can jump away. It's also going to help them get through tanks mid game easier, because this is a problem with them, right? If you build Infinity Edge, then you're kind of going for the late game build, you're going to suck mid game, but with this build, you can actually build it and get through tanks really easily. I think you actually can kind of spec into crit later into the game with this as well if you wanted to, but probably you're just going to add on a Runans and like a Bloodthirst, or maybe even a Blade of the Ruined King as well for the double percentage damage. These next two I'm testing properly to see if it actually works, but Ezreal's the first one. So the reason I'm testing him is because it actually applies a 3% max health damage on your Q. Imagine if you were playing blue build and you were spamming your Q over and over again, adding a Bloodrazor in there would be massive Q damage. This is the reason why you have Blade of the Ruined King in your build most of the times anyway, and Bloodrazor just does it better. One of your biggest weaknesses on Ezreal is the tanks, and this is going to help with that, and because you're super safe, you don't really need your heal as much, I guess. Like obviously it's nice to have, you can fight a bit more in lane, but you don't necessarily need it. You might be able to get away without having it. Lucian is another one, okay, because he used to be overpowered with Blade of the Ruined King in season 4. The passive double shots, like your passive when you hit twice, actually applies on hit. It basically means that whenever you hit someone with that double shot, you're going to be dealing 6% max health damage with it, and that is actually crazy. You're not going to be building Rage Blade. I don't think that's really that good of a synergy, but just having the double shot on its own is going to be a lot of damage. The problem is that Lucian works really well with Essence Reaver and crit for ability damage, and this is not really that kind of build, so I'm not sure if it's going to be worthwhile getting. It will be a lot of damage, but I don't know if it's going to be better. Heal is also more important because you want to be going for more of an aggressive laning phase. Like you would be insane at tank killing, but kind of the trade-off is that you lower your burst. Anyway, I have to test this more as I said, but from what I've done so far, this is absolutely insane. If you want me to do some full PvE games on this and actually show you it in action, then let me know. Subscribe, comment, share, but for now, let's go to the robots.